What's going on, Jeromes? So one of the downsides of Sylvie making cameos is that when she walks in, sometimes she messes with the focus of the video. Pun intended. All right, I think we're good to go. But it's a beautiful Wednesday, and it's time for another Vikings. Am I still blurry? It'll be fine. Here for another Vikings news dump, so let's get it on. First up is, so the Vikings, they're a team in flux. They're a team in transition, but they're headed in the right direction. But Vegas doesn't really seem to think so. Per Persuasion put this together. NFL win totals for teams posted on DraftKings Sportsbook. Lions 10.5, Packers 10.5, whatever. Bears 8.5, and the Vikings 6.5. By the way, man, that's robbery at minus 135. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, man. But all right, so the Vikings 6.5 wins. Fully understand that people look like, oh, it's Sam Darnold. Oh, it's Sam Darnold. Not even factoring in the rookie quarterback TBD. Not even factoring that defense is going to be even better, even though they did lose Danielle Hunter. They're replenished. They got healthy Justin Jefferson, and Aaron Jones is going to really help out that rushing attack. So shut up and take my money. Again, entertainment purposes only. Oh, also I need to address, so the other day sort of talked about how, the marketing of sports betting and sports gambling, kind of sketches me out. But I meant to, but I didn't address. Obviously, I enjoy wagering a jelly bean a time or two, and it's kind of hypocritical for me, who as someone who participates in sports betting and sports gambling, just sort of poo-poos on the marketing of it. I think you can have it both ways. I don't think it's overly hypocritical that, hey, this is something I choose to do, and also, I don't think that this should be turned into a video game, which in turn really trickles down to teenagers and kids getting involved, and also the ease of some people, the way that it's really easy to put it on the credit card, just put it on the app and fire, especially like in-game betting where the juice on some of those in-game bets should be criminal. But that's a whole nother thing for a whole nother day. Again, entertainment purposes only. All of the things, don't bet what you can't lose, or something like that. But yeah, I think that this is going to be a legitimate problem coming up for the leagues just really getting into bed with some of these sports betting companies. Anyways, brighter news. So the new draft hats for the 2024 class has been dropped, all 32 teams, and I do like the Vikings logo. So got the white logo, got the yellow silhouette, skull Vikes on the side. Looks good. And I'm always a fan of the draft hats because whoever dons them, it's just like all of our hopes and dreams are riding on you, and the hat's looking good. So throughout the years, Jordan Addison last year with the script Vikings, very strong across the top. Bradbury, 2019, it could have been. Man. JJ in the Rona year in 2020. Now I feel like those hats are really legit. I think I have one of the 2020 hats flying around there. I like the fluorescent piping on fluorescent look, the bright glowing look on the logo. But also that might have just been lazy that year because of manufacturing. They're just like, I don't know, just make the logo brighter. And then also I'm a sucker for like the big fonts on some of the draft hats. Harrison Smith in 2012. He was the only rookie taken that year in the first round. Also, this is hilarious, man. So, all right, so there have been a lot of talk. So Dak Prescott's heading into a contract year, and all the speculations of Dak is going to get $65 million per year, which, okay. I mean, focus on me. But yeah, Dak. I mean, Dak is what the media wants you to think Kirk Cousins is. I don't know. But, I mean, Dak, he'll put up big-time regular season numbers. He'll occasionally have some sparks, but I don't trust him to win a big-time game. I just really don't. But, I mean, the whole thing about it is, like, it's because Dak is quarterback of the Cowboys. If Dak was quarterback of the Panthers, he'd be whatever, right? But a rap sheet. Cowboys and Dak Prescott have a mutual understanding of his contract situation. Sources say, with no offers from Dallas despite him being in a contract year, owner Jerry Jones says, "We are where we are, locked and loaded for this year. No indication a deal is coming." So, Cowboys fans are sort of coping. They're just like, okay, this is cap gymnastics. So after June 1st, after they sign CD, they can make this work out sweetly with the salary cap. I don't know. I feel like with Dak, I feel like they're sort of in the spot where the Vikings were, where it's like, we're not going to overpay you. If you want to be back, great. If not, you can leave. But also, they have to deal with $95 million in dead cap. So it's going to be quite a bit. And already various fan bases are looking out. Like, I don't know why the Niners would want Dak. I mean, Brock Purdy on his worst day is roughly equivalent to Dak. But the Broncos, I feel like Broncos fans are just coping right now because they know that the Vikings have completely boxed them out for one of the big four quarterbacks. So I don't know. And before we get to the question, no, I do not want Dak Prescott to be quarterback of the Vikings because what's the point? We already moved on from Kirk Cousins. Why bring back Dallas Kurt? Nah. NFL. So it is funny that the NFL outlawed the swivel hip drop tackle, as well as they changed the kickoff rules in the name of player safety. Then they're like, hey, Christmas Day doubleheader, even though Christmas is on a Wednesday. Rap sheet. NFL EVP for media distribution, Hans Schroeder, who I think is Margaret Schroeder's husband in Boardwalk Empire that Nucky has killed. Great show, by the way. Extremely underrated. There will be a Christmas Day doubleheader, despite it being on a Wednesday. We've seen some really unprecedented growth. Amazon will have a wildcard playoff game this year, and the Eagles opener will be on Peacock, so that's going to piss off the boomers. So Amazon's going to have a wildcard game. Peacock's probably going to have a wildcard game. They're eroding the American tradition of just playoff games on basic cable. Oh well. But the whole Christmas Day thing is interesting. Now, they said that the 4 teams on Christmas Day will play on Saturday, so they'll have the equivalent of a Sunday to Thursday break because Week 16 was Christmas last year. That's too late for a bye week, so I don't know. Like, I know that they got huge ratings for Christmas last year, and I mean, they flat out said that they weren't going to do games this year because Christmas is on a Wednesday, and then they're just like, we lied. We lied, man. But Field Yates points out something interesting. So, starting Christmas Day, we'll have this week-long football stretch. So, Wednesday, December 25th, NFL games, 2. Thursday Night Football, 26th, game. Saturday, they will have a game because the late in the season after college football's regular season is wrapped up, they start doing Saturday games. So Saturday, Sunday normally, Monday Night Football on the 30th, and then the 31st is going to be college football quarterfinals as well as on January 1st. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, yes, more football. But at a certain point, as the league is just adding an 18th game, and then they keep making players play on turf because I feel like the big turf companies. So here's my conspiracy theory. I feel like teams and stadiums don't pay for turf, right? I feel like the big time turf companies, the synthetic turf, like they supply these stadiums for free and sometimes maybe even pay the teams in the stadiums. I may be completely face planting on this, but again, it's conspiracy theory time. And they do that as a marketing loss leader. So they can say, hey, we are the official synthetic field turf of these NFL stadiums. And then at full price, they charge these colleges, they charge these high schools, and then that's where they make their dough back. I may be completely wrong, but I feel like the NFLPA should make a push to make it where it's like FIFA, where the men, they have it in their contracts where they can only play on natural grass, like they cannot play on synthetic surfaces. The NFLPA should push for that because I know that the data is the data, and NFL teams, I mean, I'm sure they don't like paying for grounds crews and upkeep and all that stuff, but it's better on grass. It just is. Yeah, there you go. Also, with all the windows of U.S. Bank Stadium, I don't know why they just don't have grass. I mean, they're putting in grass for that soccer game that they got coming up. So, anyways, speaking of grass, Adrian Peterson was tearing up the Metrodome turf back in the day, 2007 as a rookie, 296 on the Chargers. So, random Chargers fan just put out, what is your all-time favorite Chargers game you have watched? I got one. That's pretty good. Also, the So 2011, Percy Harvin took the opening kick from to the house. I think that was 2011 because I think that was week 1. The Vikings, for whatever reason, were in San Diego and Percy took it to the house. Good times, man. Also, when they were playing at that jabroni soccer stadium in L.A., and Daniil had that strip sack, and then Afadi ran it in for the touchdown. That was a good game, too. I like that one. Also, speaking of from Vikings from the past, so Cordero Patterson. And I wanted to believe in Cordero Patterson, except what screwed it up is that Zim and Norv were so stuck in their ways that they're like, well, if Cordero can't run a full route tree, he cannot see the field. So Charles Johnson will be the starting wide receiver. It's just Cordero Patterson is just an absolute physical freak, and he's great in open space. Just honestly toss him the ball. And what's so weird is that the two best offensive coordinators that utilized Cordero Patterson the best was Arthur Smith in Atlanta when he was head coach and play caller, and Bill Musgrave, Bill 3x5 Musgrave, Cordero's rookie season in 2013. How crazy is that, man? But rap sheet, Cordero Patterson, blah, 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 signed a 2-year deal with the Steelers for $6 million. Now, reunites with Arthur Smith, who's now the OC with the Steelers, and Cordero Patterson is literally the only offensive player who improved with Arthur Smith. It's crazy. Because Arthur Smith just lined him up and running back and gave him the ball. That's all you need to do with Cordero, man. I feel like Cordero's athletic peak and career was mostly wasted, and he should go in the Hall of Fame as a kick returner. Hester made it in as a punt returner. Cordero should be in as a kick returner. I will die on this hill. Also, what's interesting is that after they changed the kickoff rule, Cordero got signed for $3 million a year, which is pretty damn good. So also, the new kickoff rules are going to value shiftiness and open field vision, and that's exactly what Cordero's always had. And yeah, he's getting older. He's getting a little bit longer tooth, and that long speed may not be there, but Cordero still got that vision and shiftiness. So love to see it, man. And also, I think it's really going to benefit King Kene and Wangu. The new kick return rules. So the Athletic. So we said this was going to happen. So Kirk Cousins, his 6-year run here with the Vikings, he was poo-pooed on at every single opportunity. Kick. But we said the second that he left, he would be seen accurately as a top 10, top 8 quarterback, and he's going to change the Falcons' fortunes. It's ridiculous. So the Athletic, Austin Mock, who, that's a great name, but he's not doing draft stuff. NFL projection model calculates the value teams have added and lost since the end of the 2023 season. The projection includes free agents and trades. NFL projection model Falcons, Bears winning the offseason, Cowboys, and Chiefs slipping. So the chart, basically, you have the Falcons up at the top and you have the Vikings down at the bottom. This chart, all it takes into account is Kirk Cousins. That's it. It doesn't take into account. Well, yeah, I mean, the Vikings lost to Neil Hunter, sure. But then Houston is only like in the top 10-ish at 2.7, whatever the hell that means. So Daniil is not that big of a loss if it's not that big of a gain. And the Vikings have replenished that defense, and the Vikings have added a bridge quarterback, Sam Darnold. The Vikings have added an extra first-round pick. But obviously this does not include trades. So I feel like this is just a patchwork graph of just like, Kurt good, Kurt leaving bad. Whatever. But again, it's so funny because I feel like we're Nostradamus sometimes, because this is exactly what we said was going to happen. Am I out of focus again? I need to get Sylvia out of here. Anyways, actually, maybe I'm better blurry. Who knows? Lastly, so this is hilarious to me. So the Packers are the only publicly owned team in the league, and that's how we get to reverse engineer all of the NFL revenue data, because the NFL is technically a privately held company except for the Packers. So just whatever the Packers reported revenue, multiply that by 32. That's what the league brought in that year. But the Packers and the city of Lambeau, city of Green Bay rather, have had some consternation over the Lambeau Field lease, which I didn't even know that Lambeau Field is leased. But you learn something new every day. Sports Business Journal. Talks have been paused between the Packers and the city of Green Bay on the Lambeau Field lease because of concerns over investment and stadium events. Team officials say they're disappointed. So basically what it is, it's public money, public tax money, politicians puffing out chests and stuff. Oh, by the way, if you're like the mayor or city council that drives the Packers out of Green Bay, good luck getting reelected. But yeah, Mark Murphy, CEO of the Packers, whatever. Nice. Just for men? I don't know, man. But the whole thing about it is laughable. I mean, the Packers are never going to leave Green Bay. Although, I'm old enough to remember when the Packers played half of their home games in Milwaukee, County Stadium. That's right. And also, I mean, you think it's like, okay, well, that was like the 70s. They played in Milwaukee up until 1994. Like that's Brett Favre. That's Sterling Sharp. So it's not that long ago. And is it a spot where eventually, so the Packers still have 9 years on their lease at Lambeau Field, which I did not know. Hey, if their lease lapse, can we as Vikings fans take over the lease and like set up this is what so every time like a small town, a large building empties out, they're like, hey, let's set up a teenage rec center with laser tag or a skate park. That's what I would love to turn Lambeau Field into a skate park. There you go. But also, I mean, what are they going to do? Like, if the Packers move to Milwaukee and play like Miller Park, like, what are they going to do with Lambeau? Is that what's going to happen? Please. Does UW Green Bay have a football team, or are they just basketball? I don't know. Who cares, man? But that's it. That's Vikings Wednesday news dump. Maybe that's the problem with Bigfoot. Maybe he's just blurry. I don't know. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.